Welcome to Monster Madness episode number 9, and this is the first episode in the second round for Monster Madness. And in today's matchup, we have King Ghidorah versus Methuselah. I'm sorry if I'm saying that name wrong. I've heard people call him Methuselah, but I'm just going to keep calling him Methuselah because that's what I've called him before, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. 2 weeks ago in the first matchup, we had King Ghidorah easily beat Behemoth, and then, in my opinion, we had the upset of Methuselah beating Slattern. He was the 3 seed over the 2 seed. But anyways, the first matchup in the second round is King Ghidorah versus Methuselah. And this is a very interesting matchup for sure. And King Ghidorah comes into this battle standing at a little over 500 feet tall, while Methuselah comes into this battle standing at right around 315 feet tall. King Ghidorah's main weapons coming into this battle are the gravity beams, the spiked tails, the ability of flight, and the ability of regeneration. And Methuselah really has no ability shown other than just being a massive mountain. A mountain creature who's millions of years old, just looks like a very tough old creature. Now I'm going to get right down to this. This is a very tough matchup. I really do think I underestimated Methuselah. I know with the last matchup, Slattern just had way too many feats and I couldn't give him the win. But clearly this is a Titan that has been around for so long and just looks like an immovable object. And I saw that quoted in one of the last videos. Someone did quote, they said the last matchup was an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. And I feel that is the perfect quote for right now. This matchup is really how I feel with that. Because the Methuselah just looks like a creature that just can't be moved. And just cannot be affected. I mean, it is literally a mountain. Methuselah comes out of the ground and is literally a mountain. When you say you're fighting a mountain, it definitely seems like a big task at hand. But if anyone can handle that, it is King Ghidorah. And King Ghidorah comes into this battle with the ability of flight and the ability of gravity beams and all these weapons, regeneration. And I just feel, ultimately, I think this fight would come down to a lot of aspects. We don't know how fast Methuselah is, but we do know that King Ghidorah is very fast. Now, King Ghidorah would be able to fire the gravity beams. Ultimately, I don't think they do too much damage to Methuselah. But King Ghidorah could go up, start biting him, has the speed. And with Methuselah, so far, he doesn't have speed. So ultimately, he could try to get some bites off, try to bite on one of the heads, rip it off. But in the time that it would take Methuselah to actually rip a head off, it'd be growing right back. By the time he's trying to take down another head, that'll be grown back. And really the only hope he'd have, just like I said with Behemoth, is to try to get some damage off in the middle of the body. And I just don't see how that's happening. With Behemoth, he had the sharp tusks, which I saw it might be a possibility, but I just don't see how he could get any damage off, any major damage off to the middle of the body, just with his bite force. I just don't see how it's happening. But ultimately, I just don't see how King Ghidorah could get any major damage off on this kaiju, just because he's literally a mountain. How do you hurt a mountain? And I do think he has a weakness, but he just has so many layers of toughness just from what it looks like. But obviously, I have to give this win to King Ghidorah because of the experience, because of the weapons, and because of the regeneration. And that I don't feel Methuselah could get any major damage off onto King Ghidorah to even make any effect, especially quick enough, because these 3 heads would just be going at him, biting him, shooting gravity beams. And ultimately, I think that King Ghidorah would either be able to maybe fly him up in the air and kind of just drop him to death, if he could do that, or would eventually just be able to bite through or bite the underside and expose a weak spot, would be able to rip through the armor and trees and rocks and eventually expose a weak spot, and King Ghidorah would get the win in this fight. Make sure you let me know down below who you think will win in this matchup, and make sure you check out that vote coming soon, because you will vote the winner of the Midwest region. Make sure you keep an eye out for that poll coming soon to find out who becomes the winner of the Midwest region and moves on to the Final 4. Make sure you let me know down below, and thanks for watching.